Imagine this. You're watching someone drown slowly, painfully in a shallow pool. They thrash, gasp, plead, and you, heart pounding with empathy, toss them afloat. But the float is made of glass, beautiful, shiny, deadly. It shatters on impact. You meant well. They bleed anyway. Now ask yourself, how often do we do this? Not with life jackets, but with ideas. With comfort disguised as care, validation disguised as virtue, and pity mistaken for love. We tell people, it's okay not to try. Don't push yourself, you're perfect as you are. Your pain means you're special. And we mean it. From the soft belly of compassion, we mean it. But what if these soothing words are silently poisoning the mind? What if our good intentions, these velvet-gloved reassurances, aren't saving people, but sedating them? Carl Jung once said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. What if our kindness is one of those absurdities, a shield not just for others, but for ourselves, to avoid confronting the hard, necessary truth? When did we decide that struggle is cruelty, that challenge is abuse, and that effort is oppression? How did we arrive in a world where protecting feelings became more important than strengthening minds? This isn't about cruelty, it's about clarity. And the price of avoiding pain might be far greater than the pain itself. So here's the real question. What if our obsession with being good is the very thing that's making us weak? Let's go deeper. Let's find out why. The danger lies not in malice, but in mercy unchecked. Behind every well-intentioned gesture, every participation trophy, every therapeutic buzzword misused, every gentle reassurance that shields someone from discomfort, lurks a silent psychological seduction, the urge to protect others from their own becoming. And in doing so, we deny them the very friction that forges strength. Nietzsche warned us of this. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. But modernity, in its frenzied pursuit of safety, has slowly eroded our why. We've mistaken ease for meaning. We've confused validation with love. And most dangerously, we've begun to treat suffering not as a crucible, but as a pathology. We fear pain because we fear what it might reveal about us. So we anesthetize. We encourage others to see their discomfort, not as a signal to evolve, but as proof that the world is unjust. We overpathologize ordinary human suffering, branding existential discomfort as disorder, something to be medicated, soothed, or avoided. Aldous Huxley saw this coming. In Brave New World, people were numbed not by force, but by comfort, by a drug called soma that removed the sting of reality. Are we not, in our own world, offering verbal versions of soma to those in pain? Words that calm but do not challenge, that numb but do not heal. And underneath it all there's fear, not just of others breaking, but of being blamed if they do. So we choose the easier path, say the soft thing, offer the safe lie, avoid the sharp mirror of truth. But here's what we rarely ask. What happens when strength is never demanded? When minds are only cradled, never carved? The consequences are more insidious than we think. When challenge disappears, so does transformation. A mind never tested never hardens. A soul never scraped by friction never shines. Yet we've built a culture where resilience is optional, where discomfort is framed as injustice, and struggle is pathologized as trauma. This isn't about dismissing real pain. It's about recognizing that not all pain is a disease. Some pain is a doorway. But when we shield people from discomfort in the name of empathy, we quietly rob them of their ability to adapt. Cognitive psychologist Nassim Taleb calls this anti-fragility, the paradoxical truth that some systems, like the human psyche, grow stronger under pressure. Denied that pressure, the mind doesn't just stagnate, it withers. Take the rise of learned helplessness, a psychological state where individuals, conditioned by constant rescue or low expectations, begin to believe they are incapable of change. It's not just that they won't act, they believe they can't. And this belief spreads like smoke in a locked room, silent, choking, invisible. We've trained a generation to associate safety with avoidance, to feel morally justified in retreating, to expect the world to adapt to their sensitivities, rather than expanding their capacity to face it. And the social cost, profound. Innovation shrinks, discourse dies. Everyone tiptoes, no one climbs. Nietzsche wrote, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." But modern minds are not even allowed to bruise. By protecting people from the necessary struggle, we are not empowering them, we are domesticating them. So ask yourself, what happens to a society where emotional resilience is no longer cultivated, but outsourced? The answer isn't pretty, but it points us to something crucial, something worth fighting for. The Great Rebellion begins not with fire, but with refusal. Refusal to soothe when strength is needed. Refusal to validate self-deceit. Refusal to treat wounds as identities. The rebellion begins when you stop confusing compassion with comfort and start seeing truth as the highest form of care. To break free, you must do something radical. Let people struggle. Not abandon them, stand beside them. But do not soften the edges of their reality. Do not dull the blade they need to sharpen themselves. Think of the butterfly clawing out of its cocoon. Help it and you cripple it. It must fight to fly. It is the fight that fills its wings with life. Carl Jung spoke of shadow work, the deliberate confrontation with the darkest parts of oneself, not to destroy them, but to integrate them. Growth isn't light and mantras, it's blood, confusion, and confession. It's staring into the abyss and realizing it's your own reflection. Those who've truly transformed, Viktor Frankl in the camps, Dostoevsky facing execution, Nietzsche in exile, they were not coddled. They were broken open, and from that break they built themselves anew. So how do you rebel? You tell people the hard thing. You resist the urge to rescue when they need to rise. You embrace discomfort not as punishment, but as a sacred teacher. You build a mind that welcomes challenge like a muscle welcomes weight. And most of all, you apply this to yourself. What belief do you cling to because it's soft? What lie do you repeat because it gets applause? What part of you still thinks strength should come without suffering? Burn it. The next step isn't to seek comfort. It's to seek confrontation with yourself. Because the truth is coming, and it doesn't care how ready you are. Here it is, the truth most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Strength is not given. It is taken from the jaws of suffering. And every time you choose comfort over truth, validation over challenge, safety over growth, you trade a piece of your potential for a moment of peace. But that peace is a lie. A soft prison, a velvet coffin. You were not born to be emotionally padded. You were born to become dangerous, in the highest, most sacred sense of the word. Dangerous to delusion, dangerous to mediocrity, dangerous to the part of you that begs to stay small. Friedrich Nietzsche spoke of the Übermensch, the one who transcends herd morality and creates their own values. This wasn't a call to dominance. It was a cry to evolve, to suffer without complaint, to build meaning out of chaos, to rise when no one is watching. But in today's world, rising has become taboo. Struggle is seen as trauma. Self-discipline is rebranded as toxicity. And truth? Truth is offensive. Here's what they don't want to tell you. Good intentions won't save you. They can love you straight into weakness. They can care for you right into stagnation. They can smother you with so much protection that you forget how to fight. So stop waiting for permission. Stop expecting the world to challenge you. Challenge yourself. Make the difficult decision. Speak the uncomfortable truth. Walk through the fire, not around it. And when you come out the other side, bleeding but awake, you will understand. Weakness was never your burden. It was your inheritance until you broke the chain. Now burn the comfort and build the mind that can carry the weight of freedom.